Hi, I'm Tim, welcome to our channel, and thanks for logging on. If you enjoy these videos, do me a favor and subscribe to our YouTube channel right here at Watchbox Reviews. I would really appreciate it, and I promise to update daily. If you love this watch, you can see it and you can purchase it on our website, thewatchbox.com. And today we're discussing my favorite pilot's watch of 2015 and maybe my favorite 2015 model debut amongst all candidates. This is the Patek Philippe Calatrava Pilot Travel Time, 42mm in white gold. The timepiece is a dual-time travel watch with a robustly loomed dial and a little bit of a vintage vibe, inspired not so much by Patek's own history of pilot's timepieces as by the genre itself. It's a practical and beautifully made timepiece, and God is in the details on this one. But the macro aspect, 42mm, means it wears as one of the larger Patek Philippe models. I would call it a sports watch, though it's not highly water resistant at 60 meters. It's a relatively slender profile of 10.9mm, so the timepiece will slip underneath the cuff. From lug to lug, the watch is reasonably constrained at 50.7mm. I can recommend the watch for a wrist as small as 14.5 centimeters in circumference, and once more for reference, my wrist is 16 centimeters. The spacing between the lugs is a modern 21, so it looks planted and proportional on the wrist, and the timepiece is equipped with an unconventional accessory, as this watch features a navy blue, large rectangular scale alligator leather in high gloss with a stitch pattern that perfectly recreates the Patek Philippe aviator style calfskin, but in an upgraded alligator leather on both sides, I should mention. Small scale on the bottom, large rectangular scale on the top. Someone paid through the nose for this accessory strap from the vaunted Jean Rousseau house of Paris, and the timepiece has what can only be described as a suitable strap given the grandeur of the Patek Philippe name and the importance of this model in the Patek Philippe lineup. Of course, it has the vintage aviator style clevis fixture for the pin buckle itself, all of white gold like the watch. How much do you love that little counterweighted pivot? The timepiece including a relatively simple case profile with the lugs blended into the flanks. It is a Calatrava after all, and the pusher adjusters for the travel time system on the flank at the 9 o'clock side at 10 and 8. Now I should mention that the system has a 1/4 turn lock for these two crowns, so you can lock them in place so you can't accidentally actuate and change the travel time. I prefer to leave them unlocked for easy access, but it is a clever system by Patek. As you can see on the crown side, the watch is a modular complication with the crown set decidedly lower than the mid-case, with the travel time functionality just as with the Aquanaut above the 324 base. Now let's get a little bit closer, see if we can perhaps enjoy a bit more light. I'll get as close as I can without corrupting the focus. Okay, on the dial side of the watch, you can see that the dial itself is a wonderful matte and granular blue. This is the most underappreciated feature of this watch, but the dial itself has a grained, almost blasted type matte blue dial. All of the numerals themselves are white gold and applied, and there are lovely blued cathedral style hands at center with a wonderful counterweighted and skeleton counterweight seconds hand at center. The timepiece features a railroad track outboard for more easily reading the minutes and the seconds, and then there is a sunken radial date down at 6 o'clock. You have day-night indicators for both the local and the home time, and of course you have the ability to hide that travel time hand when you don't want to see it, so you can clean up the dial of the watch. Of course, the local hand drives the date, and you can see how the local time turns from day to night as I transit the dial using the local time hand. I can even, if you watch carefully, I can even jump the date in either direction as I transit the international date line. So this is a watch that has all of the toys, and again, 60 meters water resistant. This might be the only surface swimmable Calatrava. Turn it over, you have Patek Philippe manufactured caliber 324 SC FUS. Alphabet soup, I know, but let me break it down for you. Get a little bit closer, keep it in focus. Starting with the rotor. Unidirectional winding with ceramic bearings, more efficient than with steel bearings, and bidirectional winding, and sealed for life. The balance beating away at 28,800 vibrations per hour, adjusted in 6 positions, one more than a standard chronometer, and with a free-sprung architecture, the Gyromax architecture, it will take and hold that 6-position adjustment in the face of concussion and vibrations and bumps on the wrist. The hairspring itself is silicon, Spiromax, so an anti-magnetic and thermally resistant alloy, so the watch will keep good time time even in proximity to high-powered electronics and in extremes of temperature. The movement, which is entirely hand-finished by Patek Philippe, features 29 jewels, and because of the Patek Philippe seal in conjunction with the Spiromax hairspring, the watch is guaranteed by Patek to be accurate to no worse than -3 + 2 seconds per day. About that finish, you get the works. Mirrored anglage. Do you see the edge of the bridges glowing? That's a mirrored rounded chamfer executed by hand, not by a beveling machine. Engine-turned perlage on the baseplate. Côte de Genève, you can see across the bridges, perfectly aligned from bridge to bridge, laid down with an abrasive wheel. You can see that all of the jewel and screw countersinks feature the same polished chamfering that you'll find on the edge of the bridges. And of course you have every screw head black polished. You can see the reduction wheel underneath the winding system is actually engine turned on its surface. So underneath the rotor there is a reduction wheel, and that too is engine turned. And then finally, every screw head is not just black polished, but its slot is chamfered. Once again, all of it water resistant down to 60 meters, which is exceptional for a Patek Philippe Calatrava. A timepiece that I have to classify as a sports watch. You can see it and make it yours on the watch box. Patek Philippe 5524G Calatrava Pilot Travel Time.